All right. So, good morning, good afternoon, actually, everybody. For folks who are tuning in, thank you for your patience while we get our technical stuff sorted. And if you are looking for financial aid prep with the free library and the Alexander Advantage, you are in the right place. My name is Yona. I work at Field Teen Center. I'm a librarian. And I'm here with Aisha Alexander of the Alexander Advantage, who has been working with the free library, doing SAT and financial aid prep for over 7 years. I think it's over 8 now. And we
Yes.
are also here with Ronald Felder from FEEA. So,
Oh,
Aisha, I will let
Good
you take
morning.
it away.
all right. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Yona. Once again, my name is Aisha Alexander. I am your resident scholarship whisperer, amongst other things, college prep expert. And today I'm so excited to start off our college prep and SAT prep series with financial aid prep workshop for teens and parents. You are in for a treat. Before I get started with the presentation, there are some myths that are out there in regards to FAFSA that can stop you from getting the money that you deserve for college. I want to break some of those myths with a FAFSA true and false to see how much you know about filling out the free application for federal student aid. So let's get started. The FAFSA is free and easy to fill out. It is never necessary to pay someone to process it for you. Do you think that is true or false? If you guess true, you are 100% correct. You never, ever, ever have to pay a cost to fill out the FAFSA form. So great job with that. Let's do another one. When you fill out FAFSA, you automatically apply for scholarships. Think about that. Do you think that's true or false? I fill out this application, I'm automatically going to get some scholarship money to go to college. That is false. Unfortunately, you will not automatically get scholarship money to go to college. You will be considered for some merit scholarships from some colleges and universities, depending, but you do have to do some extra legwork in order to get scholarships. And we have an exciting scholarship workshop that'll be coming up. I'll talk to you about a little bit later. When you submit a FAFSA, you automatically apply for federal grants, which is free money you don't have to pay back. Is that true or false? That is true. When you submit your FAFSA, you do automatically apply for federal grants. Remember, grant money is money that you do not, as a student, have to pay back. So you want to absolutely make sure that you take advantage of filling out your FAFSA form correctly. The FAFSA only takes 4 hours to complete. 4 hours out of your day, true or false? If you said it was true, that is incorrect. Okay. FAFSA only should take you average about an hour, depending on the information that you have to start off filling out that application. We're going to make sure that you are equipped with the right documentation, the right vocabulary, and the right information so that this can be a quick process. It should not take you 4 hours to complete this application, right? And you have experts like myself, Mr. Ronald Felder, and other advocates in your corner to make sure that you're filling it out correctly and that you're not wasting your day not knowing what you're doing. The FAFSA is good forever. Once you fill it out one time, you will never have to do it again. Do you think that is true or false? Take a few seconds to think about that. All right. If you said false, you are absolutely correct. The FAFSA application is something that you have to fill out every single year you are in college. This is an ongoing document that tracks your financial stability within your home. So you do have to fill it out every single year. All right, now that we've done that fun FAFSA true and false, and you have a little bit more knowledge about FAFSA, I want to dive into what is financial aid. Financial aid helps students and their families pay for college, just like yourself. This financial assistance covers educational expenses, including your tuition and fees, room and board, books and supplies, and transportation. There are several types of financial aid that are available to you, including grants, scholarships, work study, and loans. All right, so what type of financial aid is available and how do we navigate through that? Like I stated before, you have loans, which you have to pay back. You have scholarships, which you do not have to pay back, right? This is all through completing FAFSA. You also have work study. Work study is when you actually get to work on campus or off campus, like the Free Library of Philadelphia, for example, and that you're actually paid to get experience within your field. You also have grants that are available to you once you fill out that FAFSA form, right? And grants, like we stated before, you do not have to pay back. Our focus today will be on FAFSA, PHEAA, and the CSS profile. Those are the three applications we will be focusing on today. Let's start with FAFSA. The FAFSA, once again, stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. FAFSA will determine how much your family can afford to contribute to your education, including four-year colleges, community colleges, and tech or trade programs. It provides information necessary to receive your financial aid, and this includes federal aid, state aid, and some institutional aid. Another fun fact that you may not have known, the U.S. Department of Education uses the information on your FAFSA to determine if you're eligible to receive federal student aid and the amount you're eligible to receive. Bottom line, once you fill out the FAFSA, your federal aid is unlocked. Your state aid is unlocked. Some institutional aid and scholarships are unlocked, as well as some private scholarships. You have to fill out the FAFSA to build your foundation to receiving the money you deserve for college. Let's go further into what type of aid is unlocked with your FAFSA application. We talked about before grants. Grants are most common are called Pell Grants within your FAFSA application. The maximum Pell Grant amount is $6,895 a year, and it's subject to change. When you fill out your FAFSA form, you are unlocking almost $7,000 worth of money for you to go to college every single year. Also, you're unlocking work study abilities for you to earn a paycheck to work on campus or work off of campus. This amount will vary, all right? But you earn and learn at the same time. FAFSA unlocks that for you. Also, you unlock federal student loans. Your first academic year, the max for federal student loans that you can receive is $5,500 if you are a dependent student. A dependent student, if you look at the bottom for important terminology, is someone who depends on their guardian or parent that financially supports them. So your parent will be providing their information on your FAFSA in order for you to get this $5,500, and you will be reporting your information as well. You also get a first academic year max up to $9,500 for independent students. What is an independent student? Independent student is someone who is at least 24 years old. Sometimes you're married, you're on active duty. You can also be a ward of the court, an emancipated minor, and so on. If you fall within this category, that means that you may be considered an independent student. Also, in order for you to make sure that you are filling out your FAFSA as accurately as possible to unlock that money we just discussed, you want to make sure that you review the important changes that have currently happened with FAFSA starting last year, right? This particular workshop, we're going to give you a taste of what types of financial aid are available, okay? I want you for homework to go to our YouTube channel, the Free Library Teen Central channel, and look at our video from last year. This will give you detailed information about the important changes that have currently happened with FAFSA. That includes deadlines. The deadline for FAFSA has changed. That also includes who is considered to be a contributor, okay? Someone who is considered to take care of you. Also, how your federal taxes are transferred to the IRS, there's changes to that. The formula that they use to determine your financial aid eligibility, and so much more. So be sure to go to YouTube. You can find this video on the Free Library Teen Central channel or the Alexander Advantage Scholarship Network. There's also a valuable article that is available through studentaid.gov for you to take a look at that discusses the important changes that are currently happening with FAFSA. All right, now that we've gotten through that, let's talk about tips to get you ready to fill out this form accurately. The 2025-26 free application for federal student aid will be available to the public on or before December the 1st. So that's coming around the corner. That's only about 2 months away. Between October the 1st and December the 1st, the FAFSA form will be available to select individuals for a limited beta release. Participation in this beta release is by invitation only. So that means they're still trying to work out the glitches that are happening within completing the FAFSA online. All right. So if you do, as a senior in high school, get that invitation between October the 1st and December the 1st, jump on it, fill it out immediately. For everyone else, if you do not get that invitation, do not worry. It will be available to the public starting on December the 1st. And remember, your FAFSA is completed starting your senior year in high school and every single year that you are pursuing your higher education aspirations. You have to fill this out every year. I'm happy that you're in the right place to know how to best prepare. Speaking of best preparing, these are additional tips to help get you ready, whether you're a senior in high school or whether you're a freshman in high school. You want to make sure that you go to studentaid.gov to create an account if you do not already have one. That is the most important step. This website is the direct website to FAFSA. Also, you want to learn about the documents you may need to fill out your FAFSA form. I'm going to click on this and it will bring me out of my presentation, which is fine. I wanted to give you a live view of what forms you would need in order to complete your FAFSA application. Once again, this information is directly from studentaid.gov, so you will have access to this as well. Gathering your documents, what will you need? You are going to need, as you see up here, your parents' social security number, if they have a social security number, and if you're a dependent student, you will need this information. You will also need tax returns, your parents' tax returns. If Your guardian pays child support. You will also need records of child support received. You will also need current balances of cash, savings, and checking accounts. And if you have any additional investments or businesses and or farmland, you will need to report this information to FAFSA as well. All right, so no excuses. Now you know what documentation you will need in order to complete your FAFSA. That's why it's not going to take you 4 hours. Might only take you 1. All right, let's get back to our presentation. You will also need to determine whether or not you are a dependent student. All right, so that means if your parents or guardians are taking care of you. There is also a formula that is on the website, on the studentaid.gov website, in order for you to determine that. And one of the fun things that I found just recently is that you have to determine who your guardian is. In the previous years, your guardian usually was the person who or the parent that spent the most money on you, that took care of you financially for the year. Some things have changed within that equation, and they now have a fun FAFSA parent wizard for you to identify who your guardian would be. That means who is the person that you are reporting that is taking care of you on your FAFSA form. We're just going to wait for a few seconds as that loads up. All right. Take you down here. We're not going to go through the whole entire parent wizard today, but I wanted to just give you information that this is available. All you have to do is answer the prompts. Of course, the first thing they ask you to do is for your first parent's name. And if you do have a second parent, continue. And they are going to ask you questions in regards to your parents, parent 1, parent 2. And from the information that you provide, they will determine whether both parents you have to list both parents on your FAFSA, or if you have to list only one versus the other parent on your FAFSA. So make sure that you take advantage of this fun wizard device. All right, so now that we understand what FAFSA is, now that we understand that when you fill out that FAFSA application, that you are unlocking yourself to a plethora of financial aid that is available to you, including what? Loans, grants, scholarship, and work study. What's next after I fill out this application? I have the documents I need, right? I have the information I need. I'm filling this out as soon as possible on December the 1st, if not earlier. What's next after that? The next step is filling out your FEEA application. I'm not going to go too far into this. I'm just going to give you the bones of what it is, because I have our resident expert here who's going to talk about what FEEA is and answer some of your pending questions. The FEEA stands for the Pennsylvania Higher Education Assistance Agency. I know that's a mouthful, FEEA. And it administers several state higher education financial aid programs, including those grants that you want, that free money that you want. All right. The direct website for you to apply for FEEA is FEEA.org. All right. And when you fill out this application, in addition to filling out that FAFSA application we talked about, you can receive up to an additional $5,000 towards your college education. So you definitely do not want to leave anything on the table, anything on this table. Today, we're going to talk about what is FEEA, why you have to complete this, why you should complete this after your FAFSA application, tips to complete it, as well as important deadlines and information. All right. I'm going to pass this presentation along to Ronald Felder, who is the FEEA Higher Education Access Partner. He is a plethora of information, and he is going to provide this information to you and answer any questions that you may have about the FEEA application. So without further ado, I'll pass this along to Ron.
Thank you so much, Aisha. Good morning, everybody. Before I get started, let me just make sure I can share my screen the right way. Yep, I'm good to go. Okay. I want to piggyback on Miss Alexander's presentation because she had a lot of great information. And I just want to just update some great news for some of those numbers. So a lot of her numbers are they're great, but I got some better news for those numbers. I am Ron Felder. I'm the FEA Higher Education Access Partner for Philadelphia. If you're needing to get in contact with me, here is my information. Please feel free to email me first. If you try to call me on a cell phone, I tell everybody, good luck. It is very, very hard to get me on the phone. Unless I physically call you, it's hard to get me on the phone. But if you email me, I email honestly under 24 hours. That's really my little niche. Here's my team. These are the folks who actually manage the western part of Pennsylvania. So if you have any questions about schools over there, or you need guidance on a FAFSA or FEA state grant application on the western side, these are the folks who handle those counties. We all report to our new manager. She's amazing, Deanna Brown. Uh, Here are my eastern partners. So I only deal with Philadelphia. Lucky me. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm not going nowhere. Uh, Aisha talked a lot about financial aid. She talked about the FAFSA. She talked about the FEA state grant application. So I don't really have to go a lot about that. So thank you so much, Aisha, for helping me with a lot of less oxygen to spare today. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Um, Everything starts with studentaid.gov. Everything it starts with studentaid.gov. There is no longer this, that, that. Nope. You all start at studentaid.gov. Financial aid pays for post-secondary education. We know that. Students are primarily responsible for it. Parents come in the back end. However, here's your formula. Financial aid subtracted by the cost of attendance, and every school has a different cost of attendance, will determine now what is called your student aid index. That is your SAI. We are no longer doing the expected family contribution number. That is out the door, out the window. If you are a parent on this call and you remember the EFC, whatever you remember, it don't even comply to the SAI. It's a whole different formula. It's a whole different format. But it really comes down to you looking at your award letters and understanding what your tuition, what the housing and food is going to cost you, because tuition and fees are basically what they pay the Field Teen Center staff, what they pay the Alexander Empires staff, what they pay Ron Felder and FIA staff. That's just basic, but it really comes down to food and housing, because you can spend more money on food and housing than you pay for tuition and fees, depending on the college that you go to. I have a son who's at Westchester. He will be officially off my payroll in December because he graduates. Thank you, Lord. And I'm so happy to stop seeing these Chicky and Pete's uh, and Uber bills on my card and my bank card, because he's just having a ball. We talked about grants and scholarships. Aisha went over everything. Grants are free money. Scholarships are free money. You really want to maximize and touch into as many grants and scholarships as possible. Financial aid, we never even care about where the grants and scholarships come from. We just look at the money. It's free money. We apply it to you, and that's less loan debt. So we're just happy that not to allow you to not have any student loan debt when you leave school. Unfortunately, this question is no longer on the FAFSA application. Work study. Work study is a job that you are assigned on a college campus, and you get paid every 2 weeks minimum wage, and you can use those funds for any educational purposes or just living expenses, honestly. And actually, you can also use it as a resume filter, because sometimes as a work study student, you find your career niche. I went to hospitality college for my undergrad. I actually started in the work study field, and look at that, 20 years later, I have still been doing work study since being an undergraduate student. So I mean, I've been doing financial aid because that's where I did my work study at as an undergrad. Student loans. Ah. It's the elephant in the room. We don't like it. We hate it. I can't stand it. But it is a means to necessary thing. Student loans are in the student's name. The sub and unsubsidized are in your name, students. The parent plus is in the parent's name. Any alternative loans, if you have the credit, it could be in the parent's or student's name. Here's some good news. Oh, Aisha left. All right. She'll be back, but I'm pretty sure she hears me. The Pell Grant is actually $7,395.
That's amazing news. I love that news.
So that is way more than a lot of tuitions if you're starting at a non-traditional school like community college. That is over awarding you those funds. So the money is up there now, and
Yes.
it keeps growing. So that's a blessing that comes down from the financial aid skies. Uh, FSCLG is additional of federal grant that you do not have to pay back. Your FEA state grant is a little more than Aisha pointed out too. I just want to help that out. Unfortunately, it flatlined from last year. I wish it went up. I was hoping to go up to 6,000, but we're still at $5,750. So you add that with your Pell, you got close to $13,000 of free money. If you leave Pennsylvania, we will only send $600 a year to DC schools, Delaware, Massachusetts, Ohio, Vermont, and West Virginia schools. This is how we award our funds based off of the tier of how much your cost of attendance costs in the Pennsylvania State Agency. I'm going to skip a lot of slides because Aisha went through so much, so I don't really have to do too much. These are additional state grant programs. If you want to apply for additional programs, which is additional free money, I want to emphasize free money. Please look into these programs and see how it applies to your program. It is a separate application, but they're all on FEA.org. But again, additional free money. I think that's the premise of this conversation. We're going to find y'all some money so you don't have to worry about student loan debt.
Absolutely.
She is honestly the magnet of scholarships. I like, listen, I can't express, so I don't really have to go over scholarships. That's her niche. That's her, nope. I actually learned a lot about her because I learned something from her that helped my son go to Westchester for free. So they actually pay him to go to school. So I'm not going to tell her what I
Oh,
learned, but I just know he's good to go forever.
yes.
Understanding your deadlines. Last year we had I guess the young people say this, I know I'm getting older in age. We had a diabolical financial aid year. This year we're still dealing with the aftermath of the debacleness. If that is a word, I don't know if it's a word. I'm not a Scrabble guy, but I'm an Excel guy. So here's what you need to know. Every school has a different financial aid deadline. However, our traditional deadline is a hard deadline of May 1st. We are not granting grace on this one this year. Last year we had a lot of grace, but this year we are not because a lot of our stuff is fixing itself out. For our open enrollment schools like Community College of Philadelphia, that deadline is August 1st. Aisha went over what the FAFSA is. If you're a senior in high school, you will be doing the 25-26, not the 24-25. It has to be the 25-26 application. Make sure you are creating a FAFSA ID 4 or 5 days prior to even starting the application. You can't do this application without having your FAFSA ID verified. It has to match your identical social security number. You have to use a professional Gmail email address. Do not use your high school email because it will be unplugged by the end of your year.
Yes.
Can I also throw in, I see a lot of teens who have very creative email addresses. Like I've seen gaybatman@gmail, which I think is fantastic, but not for this purpose, not for job applications. So parents who are watching, this is your opportunity to check in with their teen and make sure that your kid has a professional Gmail account.
Yep, professional Gmail or iCloud. Definitely, because it is your first impression. We do not want to
Yeah.
see uptownball@gmail.com. We don't want to see, we see it and it's just not a good look. So make sure it's professional. These are the documents that you're going to need. Of course, you make sure you have your social security card. Students, if you've never seen your social security card, make sure you know your exact number. Make sure you know the exact spelling of your name or your first name or last name or last names. Some students may have two last names and they don't even know this. Make sure your social security card is signed because that's when you know it's valid. Uh, on the FAFSA, you can choose 20 schools, but I'll have Aisha go through that when it's time for her to go through that information when the FAFSA. So I don't need to go over this. Uh, One of the biggest things about the FAFSA is the parent invitation. That is a new one. That is a difficult situation. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. But however, students, you have to send the invitation to your parents, so you're gonna have to know their social security number, date of birth, and information that matches their FAFSA IDs. On the FAFSA, you have to provide consent. You also know about your assets and everything, whose information goes on it. I think Aisha just touched on it really well. If you answer yes to any of these questions, this will make you an independent student. However, if you do answer yes, you have to provide additional documentation to prove that you are independent student. So don't just say you're married because you and your boyfriend or girlfriend or partner have been dating in high school for the past 4 years on the same Instagram page. That does not count. Unusual circumstances, yes, things do happen. After the FAFSA, you will get numerous, I mean, a plethora of information in your emails. Check your spam, check your emails every day. Follow up with these folks. If you don't know, ask the questions. Compare and contrast your schools. You're going to get numerous award letters. See exactly what school's going to give you the most money. Because honestly, the number one reason why students do not succeed college is actually finances. You really want to go to schools going to give you the most money, but you have the least amount of student loan debt. These are three schools that come into play. I am going to skip the next part. We talked about loans. The maximum amount of student loans is for 31,000 as a dependent, 57,500 as an independent. Remember, you have to pay back these federal loans. These are not loans that you borrow from your day one, your BFF, your abuelita, your abuelo, your grandma, your titi, none of that. You are borrowing money from the federal government. We will always come track you down. Uh, you can't shake us. We are the biggest stalkers in the world. Parents, if you're looking at any type of Parent Plus loan, you want to make sure you have the credit. You have to make sure you understand that you do have to pay these loans back. I will email the Field Teen Center and as well as Aisha this entire PowerPoint, so you guys don't have to worry about, oh, he's moving too fast. No, you're gonna have it in your emails.
And if you want to
Bas
receive those emails, make sure you are signed up for the Teen Center's SAT and college prep email list. We will give you information at the end for how to make sure you're on that.
Be a smart borrower. Honestly, we have a website right now that's called mysmartborrowing.org. It allows you to do full functionalities, select the school, select the career, get the factors and savings in your result. This is a really good real life tool to just explain to you exactly what you're looking for and how much money you're going to be making in your career and things like that, and your college choices. All right, so let's go to what Aisha said. The new FEA state grant application, it has changed. It's got a new name and everything. It is now called Grant Us. When you receive this email after you complete your FAFSA, you will receive an email link between 48 to 72 hours. Uh, you want to make sure that you are confirming your username and password, creating a username and password, confirming your high school. Make sure you're checking the rights and responsibility. Make sure that you are submitting this information and following up on its email and following up on your FEA state grant/grant us application all the time. Even if you don't decide to go to a Pennsylvania school, you want to make sure that you are just completing the FEA state grant application as a backup.
There is no such thing as too much free money. But like I said
No,
earlier, we don't want to leave anything on the table.
absolutely not. Because I can tell you right now, when I was a parent helping my son going through college and looking for it, man, you would think that I had the Kevin Durant wingspan. I was grabbing every dime, every nickel. I didn't care where it was coming from, swooping it off the table. Nope, we
That's
getting it.
it.
'Cause I did not want him to have any debt, and I did not want to have any debt. So I was
Right.
like, no way. All right. Today, of course, Aisha and the Field Teen Center are going to go over what you need to do afterwards today about exploring scholarships, FAFSA IDs, visiting colleges, talk about affordability, net price calculator, using your resources on FEA.org, FAFSA.gov, all these good stuff, education at mysmartborrowing.org, these type of links. Here is my information again. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Thank you so much again, ladies, for having me. And I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you so much, Ron. That was
Welcome.
just so much information. I tell you, if you do not come away from this workshop with anything, just understand and know that you have advocates in your corner. From the free library to the Alexander Advantage to FEA, we want to make sure that you win in this thing called college prep. So make sure that you pay attention, that if you need to look at this video again, please do, take notes and apply what you are currently learning. All right, I'm going to share my screen again. I am excited to jump into the CSS profile and what that is about. Let me hide. There we are. CSS profile. That stands for the College Scholarship Service. This is something that some colleges and universities require outside of FAFSA and PHEAA. So this is a separate application, and your college and university will let you know whether or not they require this particular application. And if they do, you want to make sure you fill this out for more money for college. This is an online application. It's used by almost 240 colleges, universities, professional schools, and scholarship programs to award you financial aid from sources outside of the federal government. This is a quick video that talks about what the CSS profile is and how to complete it and why you should complete it. So listen up, get those ears open, and enjoy.
What's up, friends? I got a quick question for you. Have you ever heard of the College Scholarship Service? If you haven't, it's okay. But the College Scholarship Service, which is also known as the CSS profile, is an online application for non-federal student financial aid, including institutional and in some cases, some state scholarships and grants. What's up? It's your boy Vitrell with Get Schooled, and today in this video, we're going to share everything you need to know about the CSS profile. Now, if you haven't already, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date when we drop that new content. Without further ado, let's jump right on in. Did you know that over 240 colleges, universities, professional schools, and scholarship programs in the U.S. use the CSS profile alongside FAFSA? While the FAFSA covers federal aid, the CSS profile ensures you're considered for all eligible institutional aid. Here's what you need to know about completing the CSS profile. When applying to one of the roughly 240 colleges utilizing the CSS profile, you'll likely need to complete it alongside the FAFSA. Now, some colleges mandate the CSS profile, while others simply suggest it. In my personal experience, I never actually filled out the CSS profile. I wonder how much money I missed out on. See, even if not required, we recommend filling it out for any college using it to ensure you access all eligible institutional financial aid. Check it out. This is where you begin your CSS profile application. To complete it, you and your parents or guardians, if you're a dependent student, need the following documents and information. Number 1, your federal tax returns. Number 2, your W-2 forms and other records of current year income. Number 3, records of untaxed income and benefits for the current and previous tax years. Number 4, the current bank statements you have. Number 5, records of investments like savings, maybe stocks, you have bonds, trusts. The CSS profile opens up every year on October 1st. Deadlines are typically specific to the college you're applying to, but the majority tend to fall between January 1st and March 1st annually. Also, like the FAFSA, you'll need to renew your CSS profile every year you attend college. The CSS profile costs about $25 to start. The first report is free, but extra reports are $16 each. If your family makes less than $100,000 a year, you can get a fee waiver for it. Now, once you finish your CSS profile, you can send it to as many schools and scholarships as you'd like for a fee. Now, each report you send shows the amount of private aid you qualify for at each college or university. Now, the CSS profile, it asks additional questions about your family's finances to help you scoop up as much money as possible. Now, if a school asks for a CSS profile, chances are they are having more funding options for you. Now, if you got any questions about college financial aid, hit us up anytime. Text hashtag FAFSA to 335577 to chat with one of our advisors and catch you in the next one. Until then, always remember, you belong in college. Now, it's your boy Vitrell, and you know the most valuable commodity I know of is information. And I want you to get more of it. I want you to have more of it, and I want you to do more this year. So to get more, you have to keep up with us here at Get School. I'll see you in the next one.
All right. So as Control was saying, and we'll move on, these are some of the tips that you need to get ready in order for you to complete your CSS profile accurately. Number one, that deadline is important. It opens up October the 1st. And you want to make sure that you are applying as soon as possible. Because like this application and any other application we talked about FAFSA, we talked about PHEAA, and now we're going into the CSS profile. You do not want to wait for those deadlines to be long gone, because guess what? The money will be long gone too. Make sure that as soon as that deadline opens up, you are one of the first to apply. Also, deadlines vary between January the 1st and March the 1st when it comes to completing the CSS profile. You want to make sure that you are reaching out to your college or university and you know exactly what their particular deadline is for you to apply. You also, just like FAFSA, just like PHEAA, you have to renew this every single year. This is not a one and done thing. Every year you will be applying for the CSS to make sure that you have as much money on the table as possible. The cost, there is a cost for this. So unlike FAFSA and PHEAA, which are free, there is a cost for the CSS profile. But know that you're going to be paying $25 for the first report and $16 for each additional report. You're also going to need your federal tax returns, W-2 forms, records of untaxed income and benefits, current bank statements, and if you have any investments, you will need to report those investments. These are all the documents you need in order to fill out the CSS form correctly. All right, we went over a lot of information today. We went over FAFSA, right? We went over PHEAA, and we went over the CSS profile. I wanted to put all of this together and tie it in a nice, pretty red bow for you. What happens next after I complete all three of these applications? What should I expect? Let's talk about FAFSA first. So FAFSA, if you submit it electronically, it usually takes about 1 to 3 business days to process. The Department of Education, which is ED, will disclose your FAFSA information to the colleges that you have listed on your FAFSA form. So it's very important for you to make sure that when you list your colleges on your FAFSA form, that you are listing colleges that you are genuinely interested in. All right? Because they will be receiving this information and they will be the ones that determine how to give you your financial aid. All right? Also, you want to make sure you log into studentaid.gov to review your FAFSA submission summary. What is a FAFSA submission summary? This will indicate, this does not indicate that you have actually received any of the aid amounts that are mentioned, only that you are eligible for the financial aid that is listed. Your college will use a student aid index. That's something that Ron talked about a few minutes ago. Student aid index to determine how much aid you will receive. Your college does that. So this FAFSA submission summary is just that. It's just a summary of how much money you may receive. let's talk a little bit about FAFSA. So you should be receiving information from FAFSA. And when I did my research, they said it can take a few weeks for you to receive this information. If you're eligible for FAFSA, your grant will be dispersed once the funds are sent to your college. All right. And let's talk about the CSS profile. Once you submit the CSS profile electronically, it's usually processed within 3 to 5 business days. Your financial aid reward is determined by your college. So what is the common theme between FAFSA, FAFSA, and CSS profile once you actually submit these applications? What is the common theme that you've heard me say several times within the last few minutes? If you said your college is the common theme, you are absolutely correct. Once you fill out these applications, FAFSA, FAFSA, and the CSS profile, it is up to you to contact the financial aid office at your college or university for additional requirements and information, as well as visit the student portal to review your aid letter. All right, it is officially out of the hands of FAFSA, officially out of the hands of FAFSA and CSS. Now, I would say, if you did make a mistake on your application, you can absolutely reach out to these institutions for corrections. But overall, once you process all of that information, once you complete your FAFSA, your FAFSA, and your CSS profile, it is handed off to your college and university. So now it's your responsibility to make sure you contact them, as well as review your student portal for your aid letter. All right, so we've gone over quite a lot today, and I want you to do these 3 things now. All right, these are the most 3 important things out of this whole entire presentation. Familiarize yourself with the websites for FAFSA, FAFSA, and CSS profile. You want to make sure that you are on top of your game. You don't want to wait around to the last minute and scramble around. You want to make sure that you're able to navigate through this like a shark in water. So make sure that you learn and study these websites so that you feel comfortable when your time comes to fill out these applications. Also, you want to make sure that you follow the Field Team Center and the Alexander Advantage. All right, and I'll add one more in there since Mr. Ron Felder is here. And FAFSA, you want to make sure that you are following us, whether it's website, whether it's social media. You want to stay up to date with the most current figures, numbers, information. All right, so make sure you do that today. And also, you want to continue to learn and grow. How do we do that? You learn and grow with our YouTube videos, the videos that we are currently providing you now. Make sure you go back and look at those videos, refresh yourself, take notes, and apply. And also, you want to make sure that you join our upcoming workshops. We have an amazing workshop series just for you that was designed with you in mind. Everything from scholarships to meeting college advisors to an SAT prep series to make sure that you are knowledgeable about the SAT and that you do your best on the SAT, which is another foundation for you to get into college. You don't want to miss any of these workshops. And speaking of workshops, we have an exciting scholarship workshop. Ryan, you know, I'm excited about scholarships. Yona, you know, this is one of my favorite topics to dive into. We have our in-person scholarship workshop at 1901 Vine Street in Philadelphia, room 108 on November the 9th. It will be from 2 to 3:30. If you are interested in registering for that, as well as the rest of our college prep and SAT prep series, please contact Teen Center at freelibrary.org. I also have provided their website information as well as Instagram information. Make sure you sign up for these free workshops and take advantage of going beyond the next level with your college education. Also, you want to make sure that you continue to follow me in my journey. I always post so much valuable information on all of my social media platforms, from my website to my social medias, as well as my YouTube. This is how you can contact me if you require additional college prep guidance. All right, so definitely take advantage of that. All right, and without further ado, I will pass this presentation on to Yona, who has a nice surprise in regards to answering questions that you may have, any pending questions that you may have in regards to college prep.
Yeah, I've gathered some questions that actual teenagers who visit Field Teen Center have asked me. And I figured what better time and what better people to ask. First of all, I know we talked about when you were filling out both FAFSA and PHEAA and presumably the CSS profile as well, you're going to be putting a lot of your legal information, like your name, your parents' name. Are there any workarounds for trans teens who may have a preferred name that is separate from their legal name?
I would say you have to put what is legally on your Social Security card. Am I correct?
That is
Ron?
confirmed.
Yes.
That is confirmed. Yep.
Yes.
As
So
of
whatever
the date that you're filling out any application, it all has to match your Social Security card as of that date.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that.
That was an amazing question. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the people want to know. The people ask me. It also comes up with just general like College Board and things like that. I know a lot of these websites do actually have a place for putting your preferred name now, but I've heard real life teens tell me that they get emails from their dead name anyway. So I think that's a good thing to know if you are a trans teen or the parent of one. My next question that, again, a teen has asked me, what do you do, or is there anything you can do if you're not on good speaking terms with one of your parents whose information you ought to be inputting? That might be a question to research for later, but...
Well, that all depends on the college that you go to. Sometimes they could do a professional judgment, but in most cases, they definitely tell you it's still a dependent, and you gotta make that relationship mesh. Sometimes you might have to bring in an outside party to mediate to see the benefits of both parties, but yeah, that's always the touchy situation.
Yeah, so it sounds like a good first step would be just to reach out to the financial aid office of the college you're planning to go to.
Yes, and my suggestion was what Ron said in regards to maybe bringing in a mediator that understands the college prep realm and understands how to fill out these applications to help mediate that relationship as well.
Yeah, cool. Makes sense. Had another one. Did I write it down? No. Oh, yes, I know what it is. Okay. Because I actually grew up in New Mexico and ended up going to a Pennsylvania school much later in my life. I wanted to ask as a clarifying question, is PHEAA only available to current Pennsylvania residents who are going to Pennsylvania schools or those partner states, or is it anybody from any state who's applying to school in Pennsylvania?
You have to be a Pennsylvania resident at least a year prior to the application, and then you can receive a PHEAA state grant. Yes.
Okay, that's really good to know. And then are there any exceptions to that for students who legally reside in New Jersey but go to school in Philadelphia?
No exception.
Okay.
You have to be that's like the #1 rule. You have to be domiciled in Pennsylvania a year in advance.
Cool.
Yes.
That is good to know. Okay. If there are any other questions that may come up for folks who are watching this at a later date, you can indeed get in touch with us, rewind. You can find Ron's information on screen. You can find Aisha's information on screen. I'm going to share my screen really quickly and just share one of the ways that you can easily find all of the information about the library's upcoming SAT and college prep programs, should you somehow have difficulty finding it again. I'm here on the Free Library of Philadelphia website. This is the blog, and if you scroll down, you will actually see all of our upcoming dates, You will find our YouTube channel where you can find videos like the one that Aisha mentioned that we recorded last year. And you'll find descriptions of all of our upcoming programs. So coming up next, as Aisha mentioned, is our scholarship program. If I click it, it'll take me directly to the event. And it takes you directly to this link that we are using for registrations. Now, for some of our events, we are already fully at capacity. So the sooner you register, the better. Because there is no guaranteed admittance. We have a limited number of seats, but we do want everybody who would like to benefit from these programs to be able to do so. So I think that is what I have for now. I want to thank you again so much, Aisha and Ron, for taking the time to be here with us and share your expertise.
Thank
you
you
so much. And I'll add on to what Yona just said in regards to resources. Each workshop will be accompanied with a resource sheet.
Yes.
All right. So we will have that on the blog as well as available to email to you if you do provide your information. All right. So make sure that you stay tuned. We have a plethora of information for you. We're so excited to continue to just guide you and hold your hand along this journey. Like I said, you have advocates that are always in your corner, so take advantage.
Absolutely. And if you want to make sure you're getting those emails, I'm the one who sends them out. So you can either email us directly at teencenter@freelibrary.org or use that sign up form that I showed you how to find. And as long as I have you on our SAT and college prep email list, you will receive both the reminder that the event is coming up. And afterward, I will send out that resource sheet that Aisha creates. And I'll be sending along copies of today's video for anybody who was not able to make it today in person.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Yona. And thank you, Ron, for your expertise. I could not have done this without you, so thank you.